Good afternoon, welcome to the channel. I am LOKISX. I'm going to get straight into this one. We have the Z here today. Now we've got a bit of an issue with the Z, minus the fact that it has been pouring down rain for the last maybe 2 weeks or so. I've had some wiring on the Z obviously get wet or corrode, or it's just shorted out. I'm not too sure exactly how it happened, but I've lost my headlights, and in turn I've lost most of my interior lights and the rest of my other lights. The reason being is this little guy here. So this is my fuse box for the Z. It runs little glass fuses, and as you can see on this one, and it is not too happy at the moment. So you've got these little terminals on the back here. One's a pos, so the big bar looking ones are poses, which are on the outside, and on the inside there are the negatives. Now that top two was my headlights, and you can see something shorted out, or something's been not happy, and it has melted through and destroyed itself pretty much. So I'm not too sure what's caused it. These headlights look fairly new. They're Nava, so they could have been replaced at some point, and maybe, I don't know, maybe the amperage or the draw on them has been higher than what the original fuses were taking, which was about 10 amp. Here's the top cover for the little fuse. So there, top right, we can see that it's my left and my right hand light, and my headlamps up here, and they both run 10 amp fuses. And then below it is my park and tail, and this little guy goes down under a panel right in the middle here. So here is the remnants of what happened. So they hold the glass fuses, and then this guy here is the main power, because it's bridged. So there's my little fuses. It just kept incinerating these fuses, so I did buy a bunch of them. I bought a lot of things actually. Everything seems to be not liking the weather at the moment, and the Z not being entirely waterproof because old school. I have puddles in my wheel wells, which is not cool. There's absolutely nothing I can do about this right now. It kind of really sucks, but one thing at a time. Let's sort out these headlights first, and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's create a small little work spot here, and we'll fix this fuse box. Okie dokie. Good idea. We got some equipment. Got some fuse pullers. This is more for the engine bay ones. So I have a couple in the engine bay. Got a whole bunch of spares, again for engine bay stuff, so things like the water pump, the thermos, and the fuel pump are all on their own fuses, and then most of the interior and the dash and that kind of thing are on these. The headlights were also on these, but we're now going to switch them up and upgrade them and put them on their own little fuse, which will be one of those. And one of these wires here looks like it's had a bad time and it's pinched itself down here. Because this is quite short, I'm going to run the fuses and the wiring through the back of it and just kind of leave the fuses in the top there. That way this little plug has as much wiring as I can, instead of pulling this all the way through like this. So the more length I have at the back here, the easier it'll be just putting this back together. Let's hope this is the only time the car tries to catch itself on fire. Decided not to screw around with this little guy. The wire that was on the back of this, that went in through this one here, pulled him out. He's right here. I'm going to redo it because the split here has broken half the copper wire inside, and I don't want that shorting out or having resistance issues, which could have potentially been the drama in the first place. So I'm going to replace this wire, cut up one of these guys, and then go from there. And just clean up the wiring, got rid of that old wire with the cut in it, got the heat shrink ready to go, And we're just going to put this one straight on here. I was just checking this out before. I was thinking about putting these back through the holes as if like just sitting there. And this mounts onto the center lower console part, or the tunnel. And it has a little plastic cover on it. It's only maybe a centimeter high, so these won't clear. However, I've got a nice big gap at the back here, so I'll just run these through and I'll have them sit beside so I can see exactly when and where they blow and which one blows first, which one I have the drama with, if I have a drama, or if it was just that split in the line that was causing all the problems. Alright, here's what we have to work with. Let's double check there's nothing that we're missing. Oh, there's... what the hell? That's hectic. What even is that? Oh, this is gonna suck. Yeah, whoever's been on here before, I don't like you. This is not optimal. We've got these two little tiny terminals here. Left is an old school, probably the original terminal that was on here. On the right we have some weird hacked up little bullet that's coming off the back of these. Now, whoever's done this has shortened the hell out of these wires. This is a lot longer than this, and they've made it very, very difficult because that's as far as that'll come out. I cannot get that out any further, and you can imagine this is the box, and this is the connector that we have to get them onto. There's one, and the other one is just here. Now, again, that's as long as that is. So we're going to have to play some weird hand Tetris thing in here, trying to get those two bullets to connect. Once the bullets are connected, I then have to connect the white plug there and then the white plug there. And then just to top it off and make it extra fun, I then have to hook up this little main power straight onto the back of that little guy right there, while everything's all in there and stuff. Just putting the last of the screws into the box now. This little switcher is the Varex. There's the new headlight wiring that we've melted out off the top two here, which are now running their own separate fuses. And I'm just going to replace the tail lamp glass fuse on that third one there, which is still okay. That inside terminal is a little cooked, but it was still making contact and it was still okay. So I'll keep a close eye on that when I start this up and see if any heat or any excessive resistance are going through this. One of these wires right at the back here. So I've already put this back in, that far left one over there, that little kinky one. It seems like some of the resistance issues was causing that to get a bit too hot, and it has not melted yet, but it definitely looks like it has gotten hot. So it's probably best I pull this out sooner or later in future and redo this whole little fuse box properly, and maybe update all the fuses, make my own little fuse panel, and lengthen some of these wires that are in here because some of these are just way too short. Anyway, let's draw up this last little bolt and we'll see how it goes. Got the battery terminal currently disconnected so I don't electrocute myself, because that's a very real possibility as well. Let's just throw in 20 amp. We're losing our light at the moment, unfortunately. So these little guys, if you haven't seen these fuses before, they've actually got the amperage written on the ends of them. 25, 20, 20, 20, where's it 20? There's a 20. I don't know if you can see it or not, there you go. 20 amp. Keeping a collection of stuff. And they just clip in. Just like that. And my headlight fuses can now go down along here so I can keep an eye on them. And this little plastic guy here. It's actually got a little fuse puller on the side of it here. It's pretty cool. Let's put this back on. Let's make sure everything lines back up and goes on well. Sweet. Let's find out if we set the car on fire. Okay, fire blanket somewhere. Check. Although, if it does catch fire, all I really have to do is start it up and reverse it and just leave it in the rain for like 5 minutes. Come on, car, please be nice. Head unit's on. So far, so good. Let's turn the gauges on. Hey, we have gauges. Except the monster tack, but the monster tack should come on. We also have headlights. We got one headlight. Damn it. The left headlight's looking like it's not playing ball properly. Let's check. Monster fuse, yep. See if the car will start. Straight away. So it's just that one of those headlights. Spin. Bum. Do we have high beam? We don't really have high beam either. Low beam, high beam, low beam, high beam. Oh, no, it looks like we might have headlights. Dull, but to be expected. Yeah, alright, so we still have a resistance issue with this one here. I'm sorry, Zed. So the issue with the idling, if I haven't mentioned it already, is actually to do with the throttle linkages. They're slipping on the rod, so every time they're doing this, they're just kind of slipping a little. I need to get in there and make either a welded rod with the linkages like solid mounted on them, or find a better way to tighten up the clamps that the linkages join onto the rod and just clamp down onto. Well, at least we got both headlights, I suppose. Not the best, but could be worse. Again, I think I'm just gonna have to full rewire these. I really probably shouldn't be driving this in the rain, but it's so much fun. Well, it's better than nothing, but it's still not the best outcome. Last thing I'm going to do is I want to check the negatives of the headlights and see if we can find if they've got a poor earth or something. There is a whole terminal missing off the back of that indicator. Maybe that's my problem with my indicators. It's weird that it's done on both sides. Apologies if this torch is too bright. Alright, so headlight wiring and indicator wiring comes out under here. And it comes up here, along here, and then goes over to the other headlight. Over here. Nothing here looks broken or damaged or anything. They look like the headlights. And then the indicators and stuff. Any earths that they do have, there's a relay up here, are connected. They don't look too bad. Let's double check the other side. So this is the side we're having the most dramas with. And I don't know what its problem is. It doesn't look like there is an earth that comes off this harness for the headlight. You might not be able to see the headlight through the sun. That is going to be it for tonight. I've run out of time, so I'm going to have to keep hunting for this issue, all the issues, and fix them one by one. So until next time, thank you guys for watching.